Have you wondered what they think when you disappear? I mean absolutely disappearing from their universe like you never existed. The sad truth is that they're too used to you. They think they can treat you whatever they want, and you'll stay. You've reassured them by being available and available. But what happens when you've had enough? You've been hoarding them like oxygen. Have they ever treated you like they needed you to breathe? No. They became too comfortable and took you for granted. When you disappear, stop showing up, stop answering your calls, and become a memory in their rearview mirror. They'll feel it. That's when they'll recognize their loss. Never expected it. Once they gained control, it was taken away, leaving them with their doubts and insecurities. Your quick absence deprives them of your energy, presence, and attention. Believe me, they feel it. It hurts more than any argument, conversation, or request to be valued because they crave you when you're gone. Silence and leaving when they least expect it have that power. You become the unsolvable enigma and vacuum. In uncertainty, they lose sleep, not you. Your frequent availability has made you predictable to them. They box you up, thinking they know how to control and manipulate you. Here's the gut punch. You're done being predictable and following their rules. When you leave without warning, they wonder, what if I lost them forever? It's like obliterating their confidence and ego. They second-guess every move, phrase, and push you aside, assuming you'll always pick up the pieces. All they have is remorse. Sometimes you don't understand what you have until it's gone, our wise friend stated. This remark captures the essence of human nature, our inclination to overlook what we assume will always be there. When you go, they miss your presence and realize they took you for granted. Your silence causes them to admit that they never valued you until they lost you. That absence is the loudest wake-up call, informing them they lost something they didn't realize they needed. However, this isn't retribution or manipulation. Take back your power and show them you're not someone they can lose. Disappearing is a game changer and soul shaker. They feel it in unexpected ways, since they didn't realize your significance until you left them. People don't appreciate what they have until it's gone. Human nature. But you don't have to wait for them to catch up. It's not fair to make people realize your worth in your absence, but sometimes that's the only way to show them. Sometimes you must disappear to prove your worth. Imagine trying to attract someone new, or losing your relationship spark. You gave them your time, energy, and attention, yet it's like talking to a wall. They ignore you and act unimportant. Hurts, right? The truth is, you're doing all the effort. They've accepted that you'll always be there and give without asking anything in return. Flip the script there. Imagine withdrawing from that constant attention. One morning, you're gone. No more calls, texts, or catering to their whims. When it hits them, they realize you worked hard, and now your absence is louder than before. Suddenly, they're unsure, scrambling. They wonder what occurred. For the first time, they miss you. You rule now. I challenge you to leave. Give them the harsh reality of life without you. When they reach out to bring you back into their circle, you'll know you have the power. Drop "I accept the challenge" in the comments if you're ready to take charge of your tale. Stop chasing and let them know what they lost when you went. Let's examine the 9 feelings they'll have after you disappear. I promise this will shake them in ways they didn't expect. When you disappear from their life, it's a seismic upheaval. This is about creating an emptiness they never thought they'd experience, not just giving them space. You become their silence, the missing piece they can't ignore. It will permeate their minds. The actual game changes when they sense a draw toward you they never expected. The absence they accepted haunts them. It attracts them back to your space, like a magnet. They wonder where you are, what you're doing, and why they didn't see your importance until it was gone. It's clear that you've become the mystery and energy they need. The catch: staying away strengthens that pull. They'll chase you instead of you. Continue with me and like this video to help more people like you reclaim their power, because others need this message too. Many are in the same cycle, waiting for the wake-up call. Together, break it. Number 1. Rejection pain. What do people sense initially when you disappear? Rejection. This rejection is severe and remains long after you're gone. Beginning with the harsh reality. They never imagined this. They never expected you to leave. They were too familiar with the idea that you'd always be waiting for a change that would never come. However, this rejection has shattered their world and hit them unexpectedly. When you disappear, people feel rejected and ego damaged. The sting is the same whether it's someone new you're attempting to woo or someone from a stale relationship. They may act disinterested at first, but within, they're upset. That feeling of being left behind and losing control is deeper than people realize. Imagine trying to attract someone new. You've made yourself available, demonstrated interest, and worked hard. They kept you apart. They may have noticed you, but not returned it. They were used to your risk-taking, so they relaxed. They thought you'd always circle around, waiting for their next move. Everything changes when you vanish. You cease reaching out and withdraw completely. Your absence hits them like a rejection they weren't expecting. They wonder what went wrong. Did they act coldly? Was their chance lost? Not having you around makes them doubt themselves in ways they never did before. The catch: you can't comfort, reassure, or explain them. Leave them alone with their worries and insecurities, and it burns. Change the scene to a teetering old romance. You may have been trying to reignite a flame, or holding on because you didn't want to be the one to leave. You know it's over in your head. They've grown cold and aloof, treating your presence as a duty. Finally disappearing. What happens? At first, they may feel relieved you've given them space. After days without you, that relief transforms into a nagging rejection. They suddenly realize you're gone. They realize they can't take you for granted, which hurts. They may not have valued you before, but your absence pushes them to face what they've lost. Steve Maraboli said, "The most painful thing is losing yourself in the process of loving someone too much and forgetting that you are special too." Whether it's someone new or from your past, they took you for granted and forgot how special you are. Since you left, that rejection hurts because they lost sight of your value. The hard truth is that this rejection is about you reclaiming your control. It's true that you've been frightened to leave for too long. You worried they'd forget or replace you if you disappeared. Fear has captured you, locking you in a cycle of giving more than receiving. After leaving, you realized terror was a delusion. Now is not the time to run away or give up. It's time to stop trying to prove yourself to someone who should have seen it all along. When they learn you're not theirs, they sense rejection. Remind yourself, you are not here to chase or be taken for granted. The prize is you. Remind yourself, I am enough as I am. and I will never beg for anyone to see my worth. Let that sink in. You don't need confirmation from someone who didn't appreciate you in person. Instead, then retreating to manipulate or play games, you're stepping back because you deserve more. Let's settle it in the comments. Write, "I'm done begging." Write it, own it, and let the world know you're not here to please anyone. You deserve better, and now they should experience life without you. This is just the beginning. They'll face 8 more powerful realizations. Please stick with me. The road isn't over. Before disappearing, you must comprehend how it would affect them. Every step of this process will change everything. Second, missing something. After rejection, they'll miss you. Initial rejection may cause them to convince themselves they're all right without you. They may act indifferent, yet something is eating them up. Gap left by your absence. When you were around, people took you for granted. You gave your time, energy, and caring always. But a big hole where you were is slowly eating them away. This goes beyond the loss of someone to talk to or spend time with. They mourn the comfort, security, and stability you contributed to their environment. Imagine making an effort to meet someone. You've been attending, showing interest, and making time. However, because they always believed you'd be there, they may have kept you at a distance and not completely engaged. They didn't appreciate what you gave to their lives. But now that you're gone, they're lonely. Daily stillness without a text or call feels heavier and more meaningful than planned. They notice the tiny things, how much better their day was when you called, how wonderful their life was with you. Your absence makes all those. They obsess over where you are, what you're doing, and how you vanished so quickly. Curiosity becomes obsession as it rises daily. They're obsessed with you. New people are curious because they're confused. You chased them and paid attention, but now you're a ghost. No one understands why you stopped, which drives them nuts. They worry they've lost the game, and your absence becomes a conundrum they need to solve. Each time they check their phone and see no messages from you hurts more, fueling their want to know what's going on. Older relationships are more intense. They used to know your routines, habits, and lives. Their ignorance is intolerable. People wonder who's taking your place. Does someone else make you happy? Did you decide to go on to a better, brighter chapter without them? Their overwhelming curiosity follows them all day. When they wake up without your message, their mind spirals. It fuels the flames when they look through social media without you. Through mutual friends or subtle social media spying, they'll start monitoring you. Due to your lack of hints, they won't locate what they're seeking, for no matter how hard they dig. Living your life, focusing on yourself, and loving your space is what you're doing now. You're no longer bound to their expectations or attention, which drives them nuts. You intrigue them more as you become more secretive. To ground yourself, post, "I am the mystery they can't solve," in the comments to conclude. You've become a conundrum they can't solve, and they won't be able to avoid trying to figure out. Fourth, serious self-reflection. Self-reflection emerges when they're obsessed with where you went and what you're doing. Your absence causes them to turn inward. They begin to question themselves in new ways. They may have ignored your absence at first. After sitting with the emptiness, their thoughts turns inside. Did I repel them? Was I too distant? They become plagued by uncertainty and regret over these questions. They replay interactions, examining how they could have paid more attention or respected you. For newcomers, this reflection is shocking. They may not have understood how much they ignored and undervalued your efforts to connect. After your disappearance, people question if they missed out. Was I too cold? Did I overlook a special person? While uncomfortable, self-reflection is required as they recognize they caused your departure. They'll realize your absence is a response to their laziness, which hurts more than they intended. When reflecting on an old relationship, it cuts deeper. They wonder why they let the connection sour. They remember your efforts to rekindle the spark. They realize how much they took for granted. Their absences are remembered in every memory. With you gone, they must examine their mistakes. Why didn't I appreciate them sooner? Why not contribute more? Deep self-reflection isn't about pity. It's about face their behavior. They cannot blame you for leaving because their actions or inactions caused you to leave. They begin to see character flaws here. In addition to losing you, it's about addressing their new self and how they failed you. During this moment, you're keeping strong, focusing on yourself, and resisting past tendencies. You shouldn't worry about their self-reflection. It's their growth and comprehension. Pulling back and restoring your power is done. Now they must accept the repercussions of their conduct and determine if they're willing to change to earn your presence again. Right, I reflect, but I don't regret. In the comments to cement your self-growth pledge, you've become stronger, more aware, and more powerful while they reflect. The desire to seek you. After serious self-reflection, they feel an unmistakable desire to pursue you. The tables turn here. The once in control individual now wants what they lost. The thinking grows into a burning yearning to reclaim the connection they once had. They may have thought they didn't need you at first. After rejecting you, losing your energy, fighting with curiosity, and facing their inadequacies, their sadness and loss drive them. The need to correct problems and get closer becomes overwhelming. When you're trying to attract someone new, they know they may have lost something great. They remember your persistent interest, effort, and presence. Since that's gone, they need to reclaim you. They may start by casually like your posts, sending a random message or asking mutual friends about you. The modest steps are meant to draw you back in and restore the connection they didn't value. In an old relationship, this impulse is stronger. They're obsessed with your dinners, talks, and attempts to save the relationship. After you leave, they realize how much you've done for them and want you back. You become their obsession, and they'll do anything to win you back. The irony? You broke away, therefore they're chasing you. In reverse, they realize they no longer have control, which is uncomfortable. Fear and doubt have replaced certainty, knowing you were always there. The more they miss you, the more they want to reach out, correct things, and make things right. You've decided to stand back, so you evaluate if their persistence is worth your time. This isn't about playing games. It's about recognizing your worth and no longer chasing others. Your terms, not theirs, govern their return. As they try to reconnect, remember that you are the prize, not the choice, because they now realize what you always knew, you're worth pursuing. To stay grounded, write, I attract, I don't chase. Write that in the comments once and for all to show you've changed the dynamic. And now they want to pursue you, but you're in charge, so whether they return is up to you. 6th, relief versus regret. As they get interested in you, they struggle between relief and regret. When you left, they may have been relieved. They may have thought, finally, some space. They may have convinced themselves that your absence was what they needed to go on, find someone else, or recover independence. Relief is short-lived. Soon, regret sets in. It begins subtly with ideas like, maybe I should have tried harder, or maybe I was too distant. These thoughts accumulate, and regret replaces relief. They realize how stupid they were to think you will always be there and that they lost something essential. For someone fresh, remorse feels like missing a rare opportunity. They may have first relished their space, relieved to be free from your attention. However, they now wonder what may have been if they'd given you a chance. They regret not investing in you sooner. Old relationships cause deeper regret. When you left, they may have felt lighter. But as time passes, the emptiness increases, the memories return, and they realize how much they took for granted. Their relief is soon replaced by remorse about losing someone who cared. Relief versus regret is a wake-up call, not merely an emotional conflict. They discover their independence was merely meaninglessness. They now carry the burden of knowing they didn't appreciate you when they could. To ground yourself, post "I am more than enough" in the comments to remind yourself that you are worth more than the temporary relief they felt. Knowing that you are no longer an option, but a treasure they lost, let their regret feed your power. Number 7. Gaming desire. As regret sets in, they want to play the game. This is their desperate attempt to restore control and exploit the circumstance to get you back. Instead of facing their emotions, they use strategies to win you back without admitting fault. Unfortunately, they've lost the lead. They'll act disinterested, maybe distant, thinking they may pique your attention by copying you. The traditional move is acting indifferent to get you to run back. They may post on social media about their fantastic life without you to make you envy. They may even flirt with others in front of you to grab your attention. The game backfires when you stop playing. You've taken back your power and stopped chasing. Playing the game shows their insecurities, since you're beyond it when they try to make you react. You see the game as a frantic attempt to retake control over an unmanageable circumstance. For beginners, this game may be a test. They'll act unfazed by your absence, thinking you'll break the stillness. As they strive to stay calm, their confidence begins to fracture. They want you to contact them first, yet every day without a response compounds their displeasure. In an old relationship, games get harder. They may show you mixed signals to see whether you bite. This time, you're not fooled. They play games as a final resort to reclaim power. You no longer need their techniques to validate you. Write, "I no longer play games" in the comments to solidify your position. Leave them play. You won by leaving. Number 8. Silence's crushing weight. They're surprised by silence after all their games and push-pull. Without you, silence is deafening. They initially thought they could wait you out, but the calm is breaking them down. No more arguments, explanations, or distractions. Just silence. It suffocates. They sense the weight of your absence. Every instant without a text, phone, or casual meeting reminds them of what they lost. Silence pushes them to think alone, and it shows your detachment. They miss you and your connection, not just your voice. Each day without your words feels heavier. Newcomers find this silence unpleasant. They expect you to move things forward and work hard. After your full withdrawal, they're left with their own thoughts. The silence reflects their hesitation and laziness, and they can't avoid it. Silence hurts more in old relationships. They know your relationship's late-night conversations, plans, and fights. nothing remains. The calm pushes them to face life without you, something they can't readily shake. They simmer in regret, hearing every whispered phrase, wasted chance, every moment they took you for granted. The crushing weight of stillness reminds them that you're gone, and the longer it lasts, the worse it gets. Write, "My silence speaks volumes," in the comments to stay grounded. Make silence your power. In the midst of their struggle, you stand upright, knowing that your absence speaks louder than anything you could say. 9. The fear that makes them crawl. Fear overtakes them after the crushing silence. They fear you've gone on, and they've lost you forever. Fear makes them crawl back. Once about pride, games, and ego, now about survival. They hate the idea of life without you, and are devastated by the possibility that they wasted their chance. The thought of losing you forever paralyzes them day and night. Someone else may have taken your place and achieved pleasure and contentment. They act because this worry gnaws at them, causing anxiety and regret. They panic at the thought of you being gone forever, and nothing else matters but getting you back. This worry arises when someone new realizes they underestimated you. They assumed you'd always be available and they could take their time. However, the stillness has gone too long, and they are frantic because they feel you have moved on. Because they can't stomach losing you, they'll contact you, send messages, and even show up unannounced to win you back. Fear is greater for someone in an old relationship. They felt they understood you and could predict your moves. They panic now that you're gone. They recognize that all the times they pushed you away and took you for granted resulted to your silence and independence. That scares them. They'll swallow their pride and kneel to make things right and get you back in their life. However, the most crucial point is that they return on your terms. You're no longer seeking approval. Once you regain power, they wanted to be with you. This changes everything because people know your value. Write, "I am worth the chase," in the comments to stay anchored. Use their fear to strengthen you. Because they know what they lost, they're crawling back. You decide if they deserve another shot. If you like this video, like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs this message. Walking away and letting them feel your absence gives you power. Drop "keep it up" in the comments if you're willing to hold your ground and show them what they lost. You're the prize. Stand firm and recognize your worth. You must allow them to creep back. Stay empowered until next time.